Hello and welcome to Extra Connections here on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr., JLJ of JLJ Media, and I'm here with someone who is an actress. She sings, she's in TV shows, she's done movies. I want to give you a little bit of her background because it's very important because this chick knows what she's doing. She's actually she is a stage-trained actress. I'm taking those two words together. She's from the big city of Houston, Texas, which a city I like, actually. I have friends there. But she's sang in church choir, started school productions, we'll talk about all that. But homegirl went to Texas State University, got B.F.A, but also studied at the Royal Shakespeare Company on Stratford-upon-Avon in England. That's right, kids. She's here in LA. She's been in films, TV. You may have seen her in things like Antony and Cleopatra, The Art of Dining, Snowfall, which I have friends in that show too. They're in Snowfall. And many other things. We get to know her. I love, she's a three-name person like me, Joy Marie Urbina. Hi, Joy Marie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Because I'm James Lott Jr. There's a lot of us have three names. There's like, Neil Patrick Harris, Sarah Jessica Parker. I love the whole three names. The two name folks. First of all, I want to ask you, this as we're coming out of this whole period of the pandemic. It's not over yet, but we're coming out of the major part of it now. 2.5 years, 3 years in. How are you and how have you been during this process?
Wow. Well, as you know, everything changed. The world stopped. It didn't matter what you did. It's been a very awakening time for me. So, obviously acting, for if you have been auditioning, it's moved to self-tapes. So like our whole world moved into that, which is great. It's got its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in terms of acting, it definitely changed because like there's hardly any in-person auditions unless they're commercial or you know what I mean? Like top, like if you're about to book a series right job and they want to see you in person. But so in terms of acting, definitely the whole industry changed.
But how do you feel about the whole self-tape thing? Because now it's up to you to find the lighting and make sure the film's good sound.
To be honest, when it first happened, I was like, okay, it always feels good because you can move it to your schedule. So I can be like, okay, this tape is due Thursday. Okay, I have all this time and I'm kind of more in control with it. And you can keep going till you get that take. Right. So I'd have to say I do love the self-tapes, but there's something about going in the room. There's something about going in the room, meeting the casting director, the producers, whoever, and just that energy that you bring in and they get to see you standing there, which is just that's the part where it's like, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. Which I love being in the room, which is great. But they would do the same thing in there with you, like say that you were being taped in the room, like they would adjust the lighting for you and everything, but you'd get more feedback like, hey, do this, try it that way. But what I realized is, and a lot of my fellow actors, is that they're really not doing a lot of callbacks with the self-tape. It's either your pin, go straight to pin or being on a veil and then you find out. Yeah. So there's like a whole step has been cut out. And so for the first year, I remember just kind of going insane. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So it was like they were going in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. But Snowfall kept, I had booked that right before the pandemic happened, right before. So nobody knew what was going to happen. So I got called back for Snowfall and everything was different. Everything like COVID testing, people walking around with masks. It's crazy. Yeah. But so I would say that, I mean, honestly, if I had to choose, I'd say, it definitely is more convenient to be able to do the self-tapes, but there's always that in the room, that magic that you get. That I'm like, can we just do half? Could we do like a little bit of self-tapes and a little bit of
yeah, exactly.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. I know some folks, they feel like it's their chance to really act in front of somebody. It's still an acting job, so to speak. You're still acting in person in front of somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, in terms of industry and like that, but like, spiritually, emotionally, what a time to just stop. And, I mean, really, that's the word, to just stop. And we couldn't do anything. We couldn't go anywhere. It's kind of crazy thinking about it now. Like here we are in 2022, the end of 2022. And it's like, that happened. And, I just think of how many lives were lost, and it was a huge, huge thing. So it wasn't a minor thing, the pandemic, and it changed our industry, changed the world, changed lives, changed the environment, changed everything. So, and you're right, we're still coming out of it. Here we go into 2023, God willing, things turn, but I don't think I don't think it will ever really quite go back to normal as anything happens in life, big major events, traumatic events. It's going to take time where it'll soften, but it's never really going to go away.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. And you real good point. In our industries, I was here in LA, everything everything shut down. Everything shut down. I mean, like the industry, the studios, everything related to the studios, like everything for those first 3 or 4 months was like a ghost town. Like we know what to do. Like we know what to remember. We know what to do. We know what to do. It's like so a lot of actors were like, musicians were like, I mean, there's no concerts. I mean, sometimes people, you guys don't realize there was nothing happened for a while.
Yeah.
There's no traffic. There's no traffic.
I mean, and it was at the time where we weren't even sure with COVID if it was like people were ordering Amazon and they were like spraying their boxes because they were afraid that, you know what I mean? Like nobody knew. I mean, I remember wiping down groceries.
Me too. Me too.
Like, like spraying Lysol on all my groceries to try to make sure that we didn't, get anything. But yeah, I remember the email because it was crazy because this was when I had booked Snowfall, it was in the room.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and I had filmed one episode, and it actually was supposed to be a little co-star. That's what I booked it as, a co-star.
Okay.
And I ended up, thank God, I got written in more, and so I've been recurring on the show. It's my 3rd season.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going to happen. So then everything shuts down. I get the email from my agent saying, "Hey, Snowfall, stop production," which we figured because every other production was all over deadline. Everybody was like stopping, and so get the email. They're like, "We're not sure what's going to happen." And then it changed from like, "Okay, I'm working. Okay, I got a spot on this TV show." It went from industry, what am I going to do about my industry, to hold on, the world. To where, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to make money? How, I got 2 dogs, my boyfriend, I'm like, where are we going to go? It's a apocalypse. We're about to pack up, like now decisions are being made of like survival.
Yeah.
And at that time I still worked. I worked part-time at a restaurant. So there went that, which
and was, did right.
I was like, there went that. Yeah. I used to work live. And so, had been at that restaurant for a few years. And so it was like, wait, we're not going in tomorrow to our shift? Like nothing. It was wild. It was such a time of uncertainty, and nobody knew what was going to happen. So yeah, you're so right. And so yeah, not only affects the industry, but then the world. It changed from like me and my little world and my auditions and my little, all my stuff to, okay, we need to leave LA. We need to get out. What are we doing?
Right. Yeah, it was you're right. It was very much, we in this business, we do get a little insulated because we're busy to get to the next project or finish that project or try to get this or this red carpet. Like we kind of it happens.
Oh yeah, we get real self-involved.
we do. It happens. We got to find the outfit, how to do my hair. And, that's all part of it. And God bless and everything. But you're right. This pandemic really showcased that everything's connected. First of all, we're all connected somehow. That's number 1. But number 2, the catering was closed. So, and I mean, because there was no studios, dry cleaners were closing up. There were no this. I mean, like it's just furniture closed. Like everything's connected. That's what's so crazy. It was just like, and I remember sitting here in my house going, well, all righty. Let's do some gardening, I guess, and we'll just like, how we going? Yeah.
Watch movies, it's like, I thank God my acting teacher, she was like, we're moving to Zoom. Like, I mean, because, I'm in an ongoing acting class, to keep the chops up. And she like, I mean, I kid you not, it was not even 2 weeks. She was like, she figured out the Zoom, one of the first, acting teachers in LA, because she just doesn't stop. So she's like, we're moving to Zoom. So I had that at least online community with all my friends where we were still putting up scenes. She was like, use the camera. That's what we're here for. So we started on Zoom and we kept doing it the whole time. So I had some stability with, with that, just in terms of staying able to continue to act and keep working. yeah, crazy. It's
I
crazy.
wish I had stock in Zoom beforehand because I'm like Zoom
Mhm.
changed everything because that's how I could do my interviews. I guess I could talk to people. It's like Zoom came out, someone goes, download Zoom on your phone, download Zoom on your computer, download Zoom on your laptop. I'm like, Zoom, what's that? And then they told me about it. And then we started when this I worked for two studios, they closed. It was like, well, now the actors are available for interviews. Everything else going on. So it's kind of like, well, how do I talk to them? Like, I don't want to do a phone interview. I want video. And so I did use the camera on this. I bought ring lights. I started getting stuff, and you're right. Zoom changed, saved
Zoom
all of us.
changed. Yes. Isn't that wild? Because a few years ago, Zoom, what's Zoom? I remember when they were first talking about Zoom. And
Yeah.
I think, wasn't there some other app that was like trying to compete with Zoom?
Yes,
What was
yes.
that one? I can't
There was
remember.
GoToMeeting, and
Oh.
there was Microsoft Teams. They're still out there somewhere. There was GoToMeeting was the big one, and Microsoft Teams. Skype, of course, was around, and
Mhm.
Zoom. And so and Zoom came out, and it was and because it's user friendly. Now they have StreamYard also. StreamYard and Zoom are the two that people kind of use.
Mhm.
But Zoom was the user friendly one. It was free if you only did up to 45 minutes. But if you wanted more, it's like $15 a month. That's not really a lot of money. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like okay, so it's affordable. And then
Yes.
Zoom became this thing. And so I saw Zoom plays. I had friends who figured out how to put plays on through Zoom.
We did one too.
They did one. So what was
We
that
did.
like? What was that like?
Wow. So we did a production of called Lovers and Other Strangers. And it's basically like, a bunch of scenes that,
Yes.
like it's not a whole play, but we did it. I mean, we had that we so whoever you were with, we had the same backdrop. And like you see how we have this little boxes, like if we
Yes.
had to kiss somebody, you would just be like,
Uh,
you know what I mean? Like
oh,
you
that's
just
so
act into the
funny. Yes.
camera. I mean, like we really
Yeah.
utilized it. And again, my acting teacher, my coach, mentor, she's like, we're not stopping. And so then people could see it. Like my family in Texas are like, oh, I want to watch your play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody's watching it. And so I'm like, we went through it with Zoom, and we still, and now people realize that we can just keep using Zoom. Like I have Zoom rehearsals all the time. We just
Okay.
do
Yes.
table reads for Snowfall. We'll have Zoom table reads if
Oh
it's easy,
wow.
or if they're going to be filming out of wherever, like that's easier for them. So Zoom is used, it's almost universal now, I would think. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
It is.
everywhere.
Yeah. We're doing
Crazy.
it. Yeah. And now I think what they're doing is they've rotated it in as a choice.
Yeah.
There could be some live stuff because I did daytime Emmys. That was my first big live event
Ooh,
in 3 years. I mean, in 3 years, and that was fun being in person.
wow.
But they had very strict COVID protocols. It was like test tomorrow, do this over here. It was strict, but it was fun, and we had a great time. But I'm seeing that I've done other virtual events that were virtual. So I've had both now at the same
Wow.
time. Where this one's in person, this one's virtual. This one's in person. It's becoming both. I think they're starting to go, okay, well, we'll just do this. It's maybe cheaper, I guess, for people to
Yeah.
worry about venues and stuff. But I think they're finding out that Zoom is a part of this now. It's now
Mhm.
part of all this.
Part of the world.
Yeah,
It's so much easier. I mean, even producer sessions are on
yeah,
Zoom, where it's like, what? Everybody, it's just, yeah, it's a really great thing that came out of this,
yeah.
I think just for businesses and everything.
So
But
you got a BFA in acting, and I'm always interested in that because um, if I feel like when I say to people, I say to my mentees all the time, acting is a business. You are the product. You are the business.
yeah.
Um, and you're more so than ever. It's like you're a walking business. I mean, so
Yeah.
you are. This is what it is. Um, so getting a BFA, was that like a real strong thing that's helping you today? And now,
Oh, definitely. I mean, that was like my foundation of acting. I mean, like 101, like, okay, all the classes consisted of voice, body, movement, you know what I mean? Everything to free up your instrument to be
yes,
able to then not think about it and just do it,
yeah,
So yeah, I got it at Texas State University. I had some very great professors, wonderful professors there who got me ready. Yeah, so I did it for 4 years. So then finished and did a lot of theater while I was there. So I was trained on the stage, which is that's its own thing, which I love theater. And then whenever I came here to LA too, and I ended up studying under my teacher now, Gloria Gifford, and she, same thing. We do trained in theater. We do many stage productions with our theater company, and it's training now, but hers out here is different. It's like I've combined both of my training because I had the basics, like I learned, and now I'm here, and she's like, this is a business. And just like what you said, this is a business, and I have to be the CEO of my own business, and I have to promote myself, admin myself. There's so many things. I believe it's 80% of a business's budget is spent on advertising. So it's like you got to spend money to make money. You have to be smart. It's called show business, right? So that's a lot that I've learned from her out here because it's different. You go to college, you're like, oh, I want to be an actress. I'm gonna train for 4 years. You do everything right as you should, right? Like if you have if you have the opportunity, yes, learn, get better, train your body how to speak, train your voice to reach the back of that row, all of these things. But then you get done and you just get thrown. Now, LA, New York, especially go somewhere big like that, Atlanta, Austin, wherever you go, it's like, okay. It's a different beast now. That's great. You learned all that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. But now you're up, you're with the big dogs, and you gotta learn the business side of it for yourself. And you honestly just have to go through it. Nobody can really tell you.
True.
I mean, they could tell you and give you advice, but it's not the same as you going through it and learning and understanding what it is.
No, you're right about that, because every person is different, and the industry reacts to every person differently.
Yes.
And you already are coming into the industry as a Latina American, so as a woman. So there's already, I know you're like, woo. I guess that, yeah. I mean, I love it. But you're coming in with that lens. That you're coming in two different ways already for the industry. Yeah. They're going to view, I should say, they're going to view you two different ways already. So you have to kind of get yourself ready and like, okay, how can I market myself as a woman or as a Latina woman or just however you want to be perceived? You have to kind of figure that out. You have to figure that out.
Absolutely. You were 1000% correct. Because it's like, that's, like you said, everybody's different. So some people might come out like, why isn't it happening for me? It's like we're different casting, but also, do you know what I mean? Work hard. I have worked so hard, and I'm at the beginning right now, and there's so much more that I'm going to achieve. And it's like, it's hard work, but I have to tell you the thing that I've learned most is that it's here. Yeah. It's all here. You have to be so strong here in your head and your mind, and because your thoughts, will become your reality. And, that's something else I've learned out here as well. It's like, you have to believe in yourself more than anyone and more than anything. Can't have no plan B. And, you just keep going.
I've been in business 15 years, and I came into it a little later, but I told myself I will never do jobs I don't want to do anymore. And so just meaning that I'm going all in on this. And I've been successful, and I've had some falls, and I've had some, I've had all this stuff. But you're right, there's no plan B. This is plans A through Z. This is the whole thing. And we're going to figure it out. And you're going to figure it out. You said you're going to have some wonderful highs. You're going to do some things. Some things won't come through. That's just how that works. But you're right. You have to get your mental state set that either you love this business and you're going to stick through it, or you're going to fall apart.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're so right. Whatever. The first time my acting teacher out here, I was on, like, I went to see the class just before I joined. She said out loud, she goes, if there's anything that you would rather be doing, or that you would love to do, or that, that maybe, she goes, go do it. Do it now. Go do it, because this right here, acting, it's not going to be easy. She was like, get up and go, because like, you got to want this more than anything. You gotta be able to smell it, taste it, whenever it may not even be right here, when it's like, here. So yeah, no, you are so correct.
Well, Joy Marie, when did you realize that this is a career for you? Like, I mean, you liked acting and singing, so you did it as a kid, you did whatever. But when did you realize this can be a career for Joy Marie Urbina?
So I have an answer for that.
Okay, okay, okay. It's talking to you, girls. Talking to you, girls. Talking to you.
Okay. So I guess let's see, the moment it became a reality for me,
Okay.
because I went to school, came out here, about 4 years, I got lost out here. I came out here with some guy, and it went south. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I stopped myself for 4 years, and I was like, oh, I'm an actress. I had all the training, everything. I was like, I don't need an acting class. Like I did it for 4 years. Like my ego was huge. Okay. Came out here. I was an actress.
Okay.
I was pretending. I was an actress pretending to be an actress. I was being a really good actress pretending I was an actress.
That's
I
hilarious.
came out here and I was like, yeah, I'm, auditioning for these little things on Actress Access. And like, I didn't have anybody yet. And that's what you should do. You start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I was working at that restaurant. I was making that my everything. I was just like, oh, like the hustle, make the money. But here's the thing. If I say this is what I want, then I shouldn't be putting 7 hours at a restaurant and 1 hour into my career that I say. I'm not claiming it. I'm claiming being a server at a restaurant.
Okay.
So like it's obvious, right?
Right.
So that's what I did for 4 years. And then finally, like I said, I got under my teacher here, and then I got out of that relationship and things started happening for me. But I'd have to say that even then, and then I got my manager who is a pit bull who has been with me since day one, and things started happening for me. Yeah. So I got auditions, and the first time I remember looking at a breakdown, I'm like, this is for ABC? Oh my gosh, like it was surreal.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It's like I would do the audition, but I would do it. I was doing it with like the idea of like, oh, I can act, like I can do this, but never the reality of like, I can book this job.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I can be on, like, there's another step after this audition.
Right. Right.
So for like, I think a year, 2 years, I was auditioning, but never, it wasn't a reality. I was just like, oh, I'm auditioning. This is so great, which is my life is changing, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm allowed to talk about this. I mean,
Are you sure? Before you do it, are you sure? Before you say
it? Yeah. I think I'm able to talk. It's been a few years.
Okay.
So I was brand new, not in the union, not one credit to my name, like a real TV or movie, like a credit, right? Like network TV. They did Selena auditions for the Netflix series.
Yeah, okay? Netflix. Yes. Oh yeah, my God. Yes, such a good series, folks.
Yes. It's I love it, and Selena is an icon for me.
Yes. Oh, for you, especially. Yes.
Like, oh, are you kidding? Oh my goodness. So those auditions went around. I get a call back. This is they were self-tapes, and then I get the call back. Then I meet the producers, and then I go all the way to the end. Okay, so it's between me and two other actresses. I mean, I was like in disbelief, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, this is crazy. I had to test it.
Right.
I just sing like 2 or 3 songs, do 3 scenes. I had to do the whole thing, right? My whole family's like rooting for me. I'm like, y'all can't say anything. Don't, like, I threatened them, like, do not say anything. You can't. I was like, I've signed, like, NDA. Nobody can know this, right? So I go through. I end up not getting it, right? But that was the most validating experience. And that is what showed me that I can have it. Okay. Yeah. Because to know that, I'm like, and again, like, I had all the training. I had been acting for years, but it was just that, like, I needed some sort of like a stamp on my passport, which I shouldn't have needed, but it, hey. So to know that, people were ready to pay me all this money, that they believed I could be a star of the series and go and act and do this, was validating. So I'd have to say that moment for me in my career was the moment that I was like, I can do this for real. Like, not just like, I can do this big time. I can have it all. I can make a real career out of this.
No, so, that's the thing, is that you just said something very valuable. The thing is, making it, even though you didn't win the role, you won. Because see, those casting directors may remember you for something else, because you got that far ahead
book
You
the
know how
room.
the business works. They
Oh,
go, you know, we like that actress. She was our second or third choice, but we have this
yeah.
other role over here.
Oh yeah. Oh, it all like, you know, it all works out, because that, like you said, this industry is it's a spider web. Okay. So it's like it's not just one person casting thing. They know people, they cast other projects. That's not the only project they're ever gonna cast.
Right.
So it was more important to book the room and meet all these people. And
Yes.
for me, but it did something for me, Joey, where I was just like, of course, you have the first 2 days where I'm like,
Oh, of course.
about to jump off a roof out of a window. But then
Yes.
it's like, oh wow, that was such a powerful. It wasn't a no to me.
No.
It wasn't a no. Maybe the first 2 days it was a no, but after the no, I was like, that wasn't a no. That was
Right.
like vision.
Yeah.
That was like somebody opened the gate and said, "Look how far you can run." Did you know you can
That's
run?
what it is. You said it because you got so close means still you went so far.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
so wild. And then literally 6 months later, I got Snowfall, and so then I was
So
like,
Snowfall is a hit and everything. I mean, I it's a network show that's a
yeah.
hit that gets attention. So what is that like as you being a part of the ensemble? Like what's that like being on a I was always curious about that, being on something that's big.
Well, it's crazy because, like I said, I had gotten one, I
Yeah.
had booked it as co-star, and so one episode, and then it turned into more, and then they're like, "Hey, we want you for a few more." So then I got into the storyline, and so it kind of happened slowly. So it wasn't like that shock immediately, where it's like, I just booked a recurring role on a
Yes.
hit LA show here in Snowfall. It happened slowly,
Okay.
so I had time to be like, "Oh,
Okay.
okay."
Okay.
And but you're right, because there's sometimes where I stop and I realize I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like this has happened. This is what
Yeah.
is going on. Like it's Snowfall.
Right.
So just grateful. I have so much gratitude. And Snowfall really was was my first real credit, like on paper, like in this
Yeah.
industry, right? That was like my first everything. So Snowfall has given me the what is it called? Like they've experience of working like on a TV show. So it's like, what a gift.
Yes.
What a gift that, yeah. So I've been working on it. It's like now it's like, okay, cool. And then yeah, just auditioning, doing that next big thing. I just had I had a episode on CSI Vegas that aired last Thursday. Woo! That was fun. So that was my first CBS.
Okay, see,
I,
and CSI
all right,
franchise.
we're working our way up. But I was like, okay, cool. So you know what I mean? And that's the thing, is that you have to keep going. And I'm telling myself this too. It's all here. Oh, in your head.
Up there. So folks who don't watch the show, who is your character and what is she about?
Yeah. So my character, my name is Xiamara with an X, Auntie X.
Ooh, I'm an ex. I
Auntie
like that. I like
Xiamara.
that.
My storyline came in with one of the main actors of the show. His name is Sergio. He plays Gustavo on the show. So I came in because his brother and my sister were married and had children. They get taken out by the cartel, they get murdered. So I come in to help take care of the children. And then he comes in. And so now we have a storyline that has developed on our side.
Yeah.
Because yes, Snowfall it's a crime drama based on the epidemic of cocaine in the 80s,
Oh, yeah.
created by John Singleton. And so, it's it's it can be dark. It's a little bit of a dark show. So that is where I've come in to the show. And it's been wonderful. Everybody, the cast is incredible.
Yes.
Cast, talented, really good people, real people. So happy that I've got a chance to know them all now and work with them.
Yeah, I follow you and I notice you know some of the same people. So I was like, oh yeah, I know some of the same people.
Yeah.
That sense. I follow you online. Now you did go to England for a while studying.
Yes.
What was that like to go to study abroad, as they say?
Yes, so it was my junior year because I was at Texas State and they offered a study abroad program, for a few months there during the summer before senior year, and did that. And so we got to perform at the Royal Shakespeare Festival, and we did Romeo and Juliet. So it was like triple cast. Yeah, so I played Juliet.
Wow.
I
Okay.
did. I played Juliet. There were three of us who played Juliet because one person couldn't do the whole like all of it. So I think mine was at the end. So like,
Oh wow.
I think I got
Yeah.
to the end. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yes, so that was incredible. I had never been to England
I was
or
gonna ask
over
you.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So actually the first thing I noticed when I got there is that their food portions are way smaller than here.
That's
So
very true.
the
Yes.
fish and chips, I ordered a plate there and it was like that small. I had to order two. And I was like, what? It was like, I was like, I'm still hungry. And I was working so hard because we're doing workshops. I was doing fencing with the Royal Shakespeare Company. We had people, Jane Lapatere did, coached all of us with the monologue that we got to do. So it was like, I got hands-on training from incredible actors and actresses. I mean, then even like the fencing, with the, I don't know why I did this, but with stage combat, we got to do a lot. It was such a learning experience.
Wow.
And with the Shakespearean analysis text and all of that. But that was an incredible experience.
How did you do in terms of living there for a while? You had to live there for a while you were
we stayed at a like a bed and breakfast. I think like we stayed for a while. So that was incredible. By the time I left, I was like, oh man, I mean, I lived there for a minute.
You did?
It was definitely different. I told you I had to get adjusted to the food. But the breakfast was the best part.
Okay.
Because they made breakfast, in the morning. And so they had all like the tea. Actually, I really learned how to drink real tea there. And I always try to recreate it here, but it's not the same. Because it's like they put it's like black tea or English tea and they put milk in it. And so with some sugar cubes. And I was like,
it works.
This is the best thing ever. It was like I just remember those mornings of getting dressed, getting ready with all the other actors, and we would go downstairs, get our breakfast, and then get our backpacks ready for all the classes and workshops we had for that day. So it was just a beautiful time.
That's nice. I'm so glad you had a chance to go.
Yeah.
We all need to get out of our bubbles every once in a while and go somewhere different. And I think it helps inform your acting. I'm sure it helps inform everything about you. Going, I was somewhere else. I lived somewhere else for a while. That is a big deal. That's a big deal.
Huge. No, you're right. Just like you said, getting out of my own life, my own bubble, learning about other cultures, seeing, just looking at different things, and when I came back, I was like calling the bars the pubs because they called them pubs there. I was like, oh, let's go to this pub. And they're like, what? I'm like, oh
my God, I'm in a bar.
I think the bar.
Elevators or lifts, but now we have lifts. That's actually a car service here. Like I had a friend that was like, I want to go on a lift. I go, you mean like a car? Like, no, the elevator. I'm like, that's British. That's British. We say elevator. I think it's very cool. I can talk to you forever. I want to keep going, but like I have to. You have to come back. You have to come back another time.
Yes, I'll definitely.
But you have actually dropped some really great pieces of knowledge for anybody out there who wants to either be in the business or just to be in their own. You have a good head on your shoulders. So I think that's what's going to serve you well in this kind of sometimes crazy business that you and I both love. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank
you. So where can they find you if they want to talk to you? I know joeyurbina.com is your website. Right. If they want to follow you on social media, if they want to, where can they follow you?
Oh, definitely through IG. I'm very active on there and respond to usually everybody, because I appreciate the support. So I'm always like, I try to go in and but yeah, definitely IG, Instagram, which is just Joey Marie Urbina.
Urbina. I can roll them R's. I love it. I'm James Lott Jr. This is Extra Connections. We are on Facebook. I am everywhere, James Lott Jr., of course, in JLJ Media. Support the arts. That's something that I'm very, 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 very passionate about. Indie arts from queer people, arts from Latino people, arts from Asian, arts from everybody, Black folks. There's a lot of great artists out there, a lot of great actors, singers, dancers, performers, painters that are out there that I try to connect you with them. Like people like Joe, try to connect you with them because they're earnestly out there trying to just do work and perform and give you entertainment. And so I want to always, I say every show I do, support the arts, support arts in schools. It works.
Yes.
It's been proven to work. to help cognitive skills for kids. So if you think, painting is sometimes, it does help with math, it does help with English, it does help with history. The arts are the best thing out there. We got to protect the arts. That's just my
Yes.
Joey. That's my big thing.
Woo, I'm hearing you. Yes. No, you're right, especially for schools, like high schools and
Yes.
yes,
Support
absolutely.
those drama clubs, drama classes, drama teachers, choral teachers, anything, band directors. We need these folks because there's a lot of artists out there who are just waiting in the wings to give you
Yeah.
some entertainment. They are
Yeah.
and equal chances for everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Extra Connections.
Thank you.